Now, today I've got 4 very important videos to play to you. One or 2 are quite short. The other are a little bit more lengthy, but I promise you, please bear with me on this, because I think that this epitomises everything that I try and teach my viewers, that, look, peace is the way forward, and the vile left, the way in which they're behaving, these are the people that are encouraging the violence. Not only are they encouraging the violence, but they are making it socially acceptable. They're making hate socially acceptable, and hate leads to violence. If you try and convince normal people that irregular things become normal, then normal people do irregular things, if that makes sense. Now, the first video that I want to show you is Kevin Maguire, I believe on GB News or Good Morning Britain, one of the two. Good Morning Britain, I think it was. I want you to listen to this man's words. I want you to listen to the way he delivers them. I want you to watch his face and see, in my opinion, the anger, the frustration, the hatred, and frankly, the lies that this man purports. Let's have a little listen to the wonderful Kevin Maguire.
After the assassination of the far-right agitator Charlie Kirk, anyone...
Far-right is a little extreme.
Far-right agitator Charlie Kirk. This is a man that has just been killed. He hasn't even been buried yet, and this man has hatred in his face, calling him a far-right agitator. Disgusting.
Kevin,
what?
It's the right-wing agitator.
What? He backs the Great Replacement theory, the conspiracy theory that somehow the government is working to replace white people.
I'm not sure
that's not true.
No, he did. He used to back it. He said the Civil Rights Act, which enfranchised black people.
He's twisting Charlie's words here big time. Go do your research.
Was a mistake. He backed the idea that...
He was involved in very supportive campaigns on behalf of black employment.
He backed the...
And had a lot of black supporters, by the way.
He backed... It was mainly white nationalists who backed him. I
don't think that's true either. I don't think you know the nature of all the people who backed him.
He backed the conspiracy theory that the election was stolen.
It's just the actions of a man that's in control of his emotions. The way that Kevin Maguire is speaking here and the way he's acting, it's just someone that you would trust. Because the way he's reacting and remember, this is on national television. What's this guy like in his own mind? What sort of thoughts run through this guy's head in private?
When it wasn't. You just go through the list. Far right hauls up.
He's a young man who was murdered.
Yeah.
He was a young man.
And that is appalling. And we haven't even had his funeral yet. It's a terrible stain on what's happened in America.
He was a hate preacher.
And he's a martyr to free speech.
A hate preacher. A hate preacher. Show me anywhere where Charlie Kirk preaches hate. What are Good Morning Britain doing? I think it's Good Morning Britain, but whoever it is, what are they doing? Having a man like this come on national TV and spout his hatred, spout his lies, and frankly just cause further tension amongst all communities. This man is riling people up and he's dangerous.
Well,
he was a hate preacher, and he should not have been murdered.
He was also...
There's only one hatred I can see here. He was a hate preacher. Look at his face now, look, and his hands. Look at the hand movements.
Someone who went to university campuses and engaged in debate.
And he involved millions of young people in the...
Look, he's getting annoyed. He's getting annoyed because someone else is having a say. This man's philosophy is shut up. The only person that has anything important to say is me. I.
Political process, which is important.
I absolutely, utterly,
if you've been on the other side of the
totally and uncompromisingly and in principle condemn political violence.
Okay,
in principle, he condemns political violence. In principle only, right?
Well, let's leave it there. Can we talk about...
But, in principle, he opposes political violence, but... What is this man doing on our national television screens? Have you ever heard Tommy Robinson speak in the manner and in the fashion that Kevin Maguire is speaking right now? Have you ever heard that? Yet Tommy Robinson is completely persona non grata on national TV, but the television companies are quite happy to allow people like Kevin Maguire onto their screens to spout their hatred and their horrible views, and frankly, I'm going to say it, a thinly veiled attempt to condemn violence. I don't believe he's condemning violence here at all, quite frankly.
He's no saint.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, that's his maybe.
Few of us are.
But exactly right.
Yeah. Trying to make how you are. I mean,
few of us are.
But it's beholden on us, isn't it, to mind our language when a young man, a young father, whatever you think of his political statements of the past, when he died.
Now, he's being politely told off here. What he needs is literally removing from the studio by security for being a vile individual, and a dangerous one at that.
In such a horrendous manner. Yep. We have to watch how we say
it. But let's not ignore his politics, and two, he opposed gun control.
Well, who doesn't in America?
Well, so do most people.
He opposed most people back on gun control. They can't get it enforced.
So because he opposed the freedom of gun control, and we won't get into that argument, but because he opposed gun control and the right to bear arms in the United States, he deserved to die at the hands of a gun. Is that right, Kevin? Is that what you're saying?
He backed the amendment, which means that guns should be held freely, mainly because he wanted people to have guns against tyrannical governments. That was his justification.
Yeah, Charlie believed that Americans needed guns to defend themselves against people like Kevin Maguire and the person that actually shot him and took his life. The Americans believe that the only answer to a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Now, you can argue about that all you like, but Kevin Maguire's comments here are absolutely disgraceful. Now, let's move on to our next delightful lefty, who claims to be a policewoman. I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know, but that was what most people have been telling me, that this is a serving police officer. Let's have a little look at this little beauty's reaction to people putting up flags in the street.
Hey, clearly you're not uniting by using
like
this, are you?
Like what?
Look at the attitude, look at the hatred, look at the anger. And this woman has the barefaced cheek to mention the word uniting.
How are we using it? How are we using it? Excuse me, how are we using it?
You're an angry little woman.
How are we abusing it? Explain.
This is mental illness right in front of your very eyes. This is hatred and left-wing mental illness that leads to violence.
Conversation.
Because you're using it to spread hate.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are.
No, we're not.
You like to think.
You.
Again, where's the hatred in evidence here? Where is the hatred coming from? This isn't me being a right-wing bias commentator deliberately making up a story to make my side look good. The evidence is right in front of your eyes. You can all see it. You're not blind or deaf.
You are spreading hate.
You're the one that spreads the hate.
We're not spreading hate. You are.
Exactly. Now watch. She drives off now. Maybe she's late for work or whatever. She drives off. She's clearly in a huff. She goes away. Right. Watch what happens.
Right, we're going to put one right outside your house. My God, she was angry.
Look, it's not enough. She's coming back.
Are you all right, mate?
She's coming back for more.
Silly little bitch. Sorry.
This woman's angry. I mean, would you trust her with a gun in her hand right now, or a weapon, or if she had some friends with her? What would her reaction be? I don't know, but she seems very angry to me.
My God, she was angry.
My country's flag is once again. Make sure.
That's right, I'm recording her.
Now, just remember, All this woman has seen is someone putting up a St. George's flag, the English flag, in England. He wasn't putting up some anti-this or anti-that or pro-this or pro-that. He's simply putting our national flag on the lamppost.
This comes again.
On an island, love.
Hey! Hey!
That will have wound her up even more.
Go on, take your time, love. We've got no argument with you.
So you can play this.
It's fine, you're allowed to record, it's
We've
public.
got no animosity whatsoever, darling.
This is spreading love.
Listen to the attitude of the patriots. You're welcome. We bear no animosity towards you. You're welcome to film. All pro-democracy comments.
We've got no
Yes! Yes, Adam! Yes, Adam!
You love this, because I do.
I love my country! I love my flag! And I will fly it!
Well said. Now, what does this woman think by filming that individual, putting that flag up, and by claiming, I believe in this video, I didn't hear it, but everyone says that she did it in part of the video. She claims to be a policewoman. Now, what does she think she's doing? Is she going to go and report that? Is she going to log it as a hate crime? Is she going to lie? How can we trust these people to police our streets?
I will fly it wherever I want
She's back again for a third visit. She can't go, can she?
to, because I love my flag.
Speaking as somebody who's represented their country, I hate.
So was my dad. So then you should be ashamed of yourself.
Did you hear what she said? I hate. That's all they have in their hearts is hatred. Now we're going to move on to something a little bit more positive now. I watched the video this morning that just put a tear in my eye and a lump in my throat. And I hope this gentleman doesn't mind me using his video. I've just briefly had a very brief conversation with him on the messages this morning. This video means the world to me. And I'll tell you why it means the world to me. Not only is this man a complete and utter gentleman, I think he's a Christian as well. Not only does he represent his community, which is our community, we are as one, most eloquently and most beautifully, but this personifies what we are trying to achieve. We are trying to rid our country of the hate that I've just displayed to you from the left. This person represents beautifully everything that we want in our country: peace, harmony, togetherness. And we just want to get on with our lives together, black, white, brown, it doesn't matter. We just want to get on, go to work, earn the living, look after our kids, pay the bills, and have a good time as best as we can before we're all taxed to the point where we haven't got anything left in the UK. Have a look at this guy, because I am absolutely proud of this gentleman. And I can tell you now, the previous two white individuals that were on your screens, they're not my brothers or sisters, but this man is.
Confession to make. I'm a black, white supremacist. There you are. My life is complete. I am now not just a British patriot, I'm also an English patriot. I know there'll be objections saying that I'm not an ethnic Anglo-Saxon or Norman. I fully understand that. I am mostly black with a little bit of Portuguese in me, but I say I'm English only because I'm British by citizenship and I live in England. I've lived in England since I migrated to Britain, and I wouldn't consider myself Scottish or Welsh or Irish. My children were born in England. They support England. And if we were to go to war against Scotland, I would sign up for England. I wouldn't sign up for Scotland. I wouldn't sign up for Ireland. I wouldn't sign up for Wales. So bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. I'm bearing this flag because I love England. I love where I live. I actually love where I live. I love the people around me. I love the English people. They've been very good to me. I love that my children are growing up in England.
You know how this man, how many times he's already mentioned the word love? By comparison to the left, the two leftist commentators that you've just seen kept mentioning the word hate. You spot the difference?
I love that on their mother's side, the children have a heritage stretching back thousands of years in this country. So, take that all in mind before you object. I understand completely the argument that I'm not Anglo-Saxon or Norman. I take it.
And that really doesn't matter, my brother. It really doesn't matter. Look, the point he's making here is very clear and it's very simple to understand if you even got half a brain. Look, if I emigrated to Japan tomorrow and my children were born in Japan next year, would that make them ethnically Japanese? Of course it wouldn't. They'd still be ethnically British or ethnically European, whichever term you want to give it. But that doesn't mean to say that if they were born in Japan, it doesn't mean to say that they can't grow up as Japanese people, as within Japanese society, and become Japanese through culture, through belief, and through love for the country that has given them a home. They wouldn't be ethnically Japanese, would they? Just the same as I can't ethnically be an African. It's impossible. But you can be. This gentleman has it absolutely spot on. And if anyone doesn't get what he's saying, they need to go back to school.
But Jason Robinson, that try against Australia in 2003. Amazing. Anyway, I am now complete as an ethno-fascist. By the definitions that are being bandied around today, I am a fascist because I love what these flags represent.
The word love again.
People of great intellect like Diane Abbott have redefined what ethno-fascism is. Abbott will say that people that are waving around these flags are ethno-fascists and they are into racial violence and all that sort of thing. And Keir Starmer, about the protest on Saturday, said that he will not give up the British flag, the Union flag, to violence. Presumably that was aimed at Tommy Robinson, but I don't know how that makes sense.
This man is a bloody professor. Listen to him.
Go to the footage of the protest. Did Tommy Robinson in any way at all incite violence? Did he say, let's go and smash up the streets at any point? Did he go and say, let's smash Keir Starmer's face at any point at all? Did he say, let's go shoot, let's go behead the leftists that are in charge at any point at all in the protests? And yet Keir Starmer said nothing when one of his councillors actually incited violence, and was then let go, scot-free. And Keir Starmer, who's suddenly patriotic and wants to defend the Union flag. We know where you stand, Keir Starmer. You and us are different. Keir Starmer, you hate Great Britain. Keir Starmer, you may protest all you want, but you actually hate these flags. You hate these flags.
And you know what, brother? He hates us, me and you, and all of our brothers and sisters.
And we are different. We actually love these flags. We love what they represent. We're not inciting violence. We're not fascists. You, on the other hand, despise these flags. You despise what they represent.
This has to be a contender for Video of the Year.
And you're actually behaving like a fascist. Keir Starmer, you call everyone else a fascist. You are the fascist. Do you know that in Germany, there were all kinds of laws under the Nazis which were repealed when Germany was defeated. But the only law that is still in existence, that was never repealed, is the law that says that homeschooling is illegal. Homeschooling is illegal. Who made homeschooling illegal in Nazi Germany? The Nazis. But who's kept it on the books of Germany since then? Every subsequent government. And we've had the freedom to homeschool in this country. Guess who does not want to have homeschooling? It's Keir Starmer, it's Bridget Phillipson, it's Angela Rayner. They don't even want independent schools. They're trying to make it so difficult to start independent schools. You, Keir Starmer, are an actual fascist. And yet you call everyone else a fascist. Go figure.
Beautiful words from that gentleman, and I can't pay him enough respect and thank him enough for helping with the cause, because what we want to... Let me ask you a question. Who would you rather go and have a drink with tonight in the pub? That beautiful gentleman that we've just seen there, or that odious creature, Kevin Maguire? Who would you rather go and have a drink with tonight? Who would you prefer as your next door neighbour? Would you prefer to live next to that gentleman, or would you prefer to live to that hideous creature that purports to be a police officer, Little Miss Angry, I'll call her? 3 times she had to come back. She was so angry by the sight of her own nation's flag that she had to come back 3 times. Dear oh dear. Right, guys, the next video is probably the longest of all, and it is the one and only JD Vance, who for me is a world leader in waiting. I absolutely love JD Vance. In fact, I think I like JD Vance more than I like Donald Trump. JD Vance is probably, for me, the most important potential Western leader in our history, because with JD Vance in charge, the world is assured of a steady path forward. But I want you to listen to what JD Vance said after the assassination of his friend Charlie Kirk, where he talks about the left, where the hatred is coming from, etc., etc. It's quite long, but please listen to it. Don't skip it. Have a listen to what he says. Suck it up and understand what is going on here.
After Usha and I left Charlie's family and Charlie's remains in Arizona, I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
You see again, lies that leads to hatred.
The very evidence she provides, this hack of a writer, shows that she lied about a dead man, and yet she wrote it. An esteemed magazine published it. It made it through the editors, and of course, liberal billionaires rewarded that attack. Now, of course, even if Charlie had uttered those words, it wouldn't mean that he deserved his fate. But consider the level of propaganda at work. Charlie was gunned down in broad daylight, and well-funded institutions of the left lied about what he said so as to justify his murder. This is soulless and evil. But I was struck not just by the dishonesty of this smear, but by the glee over a young husband's and young father's death. Quote, she says, "He was an unrepentant racist, transphobe, homophobe, and misogynist. The Nation wrote, who often wrapped his bigotry in Bible verses because there was no other way to pretend that it was morally correct.
Again, who is stirring up trouble here? Who is stirring up the hatred?
He had children, as do many vile people. That's what they said. He had children, as do many vile people. Now, hours before this smear was published, my wife and I had the honor of escorting Charlie's body back to his home in Arizona. We took his wife, Erica, we love you, his parents, his sister, and a few of his best friends with us. And as they offloaded Charlie's casket from Air Force Two, I worried that Erica would collapse with grief. Now, I'm a very lucky husband to a very wonderful wife, but I have never been prouder of my wife than that moment as she held Erica in Erica's very darkest hour. And I thought of Erica as I read that disgusting attack on Charlie. He had children, as do many vile people. That's what they said about him. I said the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And I asked Usha what Erica had said to her earlier in the day in a private moment, and I asked Erica's permission to share this. My wife told me, she asked me for advice. Erica asked me for advice on how she should tell her children that their father had been murdered. She asked my wife how to tell her beautiful kids that their father and my dear, very dear friend is no longer with us. And as she was doing it, there were people.
Just remember that the left, the so-called tolerant, peaceful, wonderful, unifying left, have been mocking Charlie's death, laughing about it, and trying to justify it all week. I go back to Kevin Maguire's interview right at the very top of this show. Remember his face, his words, his mannerisms, his actions, his I. Remember what he called Charlie. Who are the hate preachers?
Dancing on that father's grave. Now, I have heard many calls in the last few days for unity and for healing in the wake of Charlie's assassination. You have no idea how desperately I want that, how gratified I was when Democratic friends and even former Senate colleagues reached out to offer their condolences to me. I'm so thankful. And I know there are so many like them all across our great country.
You see, here is a man who genuinely wants peace and unity, just like us.
I am desperate to wrap my arms around them as we all unite to condemn political violence and the ideas that cause it. Psalm 133 tells us, "Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head." Oh, how badly have I craved that precious ointment in recent days, and I believe we can have it. But first, we must tell the truth.
I love this guy. I think he's brilliant.
It's the only way to honor Charlie, for what was he, if not a man who told the truth in every place, in every environment? Now, the most important truth Charlie told is this, that long ago a man, begotten, not made, came down from heaven, and by the Holy Spirit was incarnate of the Virgin Mary and became man. For our sake, he was crucified under Pontius Pilate and suffered death and was buried and rose again on the third day. Charlie believed, as I do, that all the truth he told flowed from that fundamental principle. I really do believe that we can come together in this country. I believe we must. But unity, real unity, can be found only after climbing the mountain of truth. And there are difficult truths we must confront in our country.
You see what he's saying about the truth? Until the truth is unveiled, we will never have peace and happiness. In America, the truth can get you murdered. In the United Kingdom right now, the truth can get you put in prison.
One truth is that 24% of self-described, quote, very liberals believe it is acceptable to be happy about the death of a political opponent, while only 3% of self-described very conservatives agree. 3% is too many, of course. Another truth is that 26% of young liberals believe political violence is sometimes justified, and only 7% of young conservatives say the same. Again, too high a number. In a country of 330 million people, you can, of course, find one person of a given political persuasion justifying this or that or almost anything. But the data is clear. People on the left are much likelier to defend and celebrate political violence. This is not a both sides problem. If both sides have a problem, one side has a much bigger and malignant problem, and that is the truth we must be told.
But in the UK, our own Prime Minister, Keir Starmer and co will tell you this is all down to the far right.
That problem has terrible consequences. The leader of our party, Donald J. Trump, escaped an assassin's bullet by less than an inch. Our House Majority Leader, Stephen Scalise, came within seconds of death by an assassin himself. And now, the most influential conservative activist in generations, our friend Charlie, has been murdered. This violence, it doesn't come from nowhere. Now, any political movement, violent or not violent, is a collection of forces. It's like a pyramid that stacks on top, one support on top of the other. That pyramid's got a foundation of donors, of activists, of journalists, now of social media influencers, and of course of politicians. Not every member of that pyramid would commit a murder. In fact, over 99%, I'm sure, would not. But by celebrating that murder, apologizing for it, and emphasizing not Charlie's innocence, but the fact that he said things some didn't like, even to the point of lying about what he actually said, many of these people are creating an environment where things like this are inevitably going to happen. A couple of months ago, I headlined a fundraiser in Southern California, and since, we'd be out there anyways, my wife and I decided to take our kids to Disneyland one weekend. We had fun, and to be clear, most of the guests said very nice things, or they just left us alone. But there was a loud and very cool minority that would shout at my children, who were 8, 5, and 3, whenever they got the opportunity. "You should disown your dad, you little," one middle-aged woman yelled at my 5-year-old. "Tell the Secret Service to protect the Constitution, not your father," screamed another. Are these women violent? Probably not. Are they deranged? Certainly. And while our side of the aisle certainly has its crazies, it is a statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left.
Here, and the same here in the UK. This is a worldwide mental virus. It's not just the exclusive property of Americans.
After Charlie died, one of his friends and one of our senior White House staffers had left-leaning operatives in his neighborhood passing out leaflets telling people what he looked like and where he lived, encouraging neighbors to harass him or, God forbid, to do worse. While he was mourning his dead friend, he and his wife had to worry about the political terrorists drawing a big target on the home he shares with his young children. Are these people violent? I hope not. But are they guilty of encouraging violence? You damn well better believe it. We can thank God that most Democrats don't share these attitudes, and I do, while acknowledging that something has gone very wrong with a lunatic fringe, a minority, but a growing and powerful minority on the far left.
What would we give in the UK to have this man as a leader? What would we give?
There is no unity with people who scream at children over their parents' politics. There is no unity with someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder. There is no unity with someone who harasses an innocent family the day after the father of that family lost a dear friend. There is no unity with the people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination. And there is no unity with the people who fund these articles, who pay the salaries of these terrorist sympathizers, who argue that Charlie Kirk, a loving husband and father, deserved a shot to the neck because he spoke words with which they disagree.
Anyone watching this right now that doesn't agree with what J.D. Vance is saying, and I mean this in a I'm trying to be polite when I say this, but you really, really need to seek medical attention. You need to seek psychiatric help, because if you disagree with what J.D. Vance is saying here, you're probably a dangerous individual without even knowing it.
Did you know that the George Soros Open Society Foundation and the Ford Foundation, the groups who funded that disgusting article justifying Charlie's death, do you know they benefit from generous tax treatment? They are literally subsidized by you and me, the American taxpayer. And how do they reward us? By setting fire to the house built by the American family over 250 years. I am desperate for our country to be united in condemnation of the actions and the ideas that killed my friend. I want it so badly that I will tell you a difficult truth. We can only have it with people who acknowledge that political violence is unacceptable, and when we work to dismantle the institutions that promote violence and terrorism in our own country. Now, our government, you heard me talk to Stephen Miller about this, will be working very hard to do exactly that in the months to come. We're not always going to get it right. We will sometimes move more slowly than you would like. We will sometimes move more.
It goes on now, really, it's more US related, but let me finish up with this. Do you remember when the MP Jo Cox was tragically and wickedly taken from her family, murdered by a complete and utter lunatic? Do you remember that? Do you remember the reaction of the media and the weeks and months of news coverage and how we must all come together and how dangerous the far right are, etc., etc.? Do you remember that? Do you remember Kevin Maguire coming on TV suggesting that she may have deserved it because of her political beliefs? Of course you didn't. And the reason you didn't is because it didn't fit with his narrative. And of course, all murders, whether political, whatever leads to a murder, it's always wrong. Always. There's never an excuse to go out and kill someone in cold blood. But the left just don't see it that way. And until we can get rid of this attitude that is being inbred into people in universities and in schools, until we get to grips with this, the hatred and the division caused by those that are alleged to be the tolerant and liberal ones, well, I don't hold out much hope for us as a nation, or indeed for the Western world. We have to get to the bottom of this woke mind virus that is real, it's tangible. It's as real as a cough or a cold or a cancer. We have to find a cure. I don't know what that cure is, but I only hope that someday soon we might be able to find it.